Now let us see how Java evolved and what really prompted Sun Microsystems to develop Java as a language. Now it all started as a project for incorporating computers into consumer electronics so as to make them interact with each other and to make them more communicative. So for consumer electronics, the the main points to be kept in mind was that the memory imprint in embedded devices is very small. So we needed a language whose imprint was very small. Secondly, as there are a number of CPUs in use for embedded systems, so we needed a language which could run on multiple CPUs. So we had C++ in mind, but as C++ they needed to be compiled for different CPUs, so they couldn't be used for such a project, and eventually they chose to develop a new language based on C++ since it was object oriented, and developed the language and named that as Oak, and they completed the project. And as we can see, the main objectives for developing such a language was to have a low memory imprint, reliability was a very high, has to be of very high order in embedded devices, and thirdly it had to be platform independent since it had to run for a number of CPUs. So ultimately the language Oak was developed, and they completed the project for which it was intended to be developed, but unfortunately the market for PDAs and all the set-top boxes, it went out of picture, and suddenly the project came to a standstill. So immediately internet came into picture, and the world shifted over to World Wide Web as we all know today. So they all thought of that what all was needed for any language for internet was all in Java, as it was platform independent, and as we run the browser on a multiple platforms, and secondly we needed a small imprint of the language as the internet programs needed to be downloaded across the network. So both these things that we had in Oak were suitable to be used for internet, and Oak, as it was already a name registered for our language, so we changed the name from Oak to Java. And both these features, as the language had, were more suitable for the World Wide Web, but at that time no browser was supporting Java, and they weren't even prepared to support Java on the Netscape Navigator or Internet Explorer. So the Sun Microsystems, they developed their own browser that was called Hot Java browser, and they ran the program called Applet, and they demonstrated the power that Java could hold in times to come through Applet and other applications. So it all went well, and subsequently Netscape Navigator came forward to support Java on the browser, and later on Internet Explorer also supported Java, and now as we all know, Java in the current form that has evolved over the years, around 20 years it has taken Java language to come to this position. Now why Java? The main two features that we have is, one is it is platform independent, and second it runs on internet, is supported on the browsers through applets. Now what exactly happens when we run a program on a computer? Now we have any high level language, say C++, we compile the program, program compiles to a binary form we call executable code, and this executable code, it depends upon the machine, the CPU, the OS that executes the code. So in case of C++, in case we shift the program to some other OS or CPU, we need to recompile the program and then run the program to account for any changes in the for these changes in the machine. However, in case of Java, what exactly happens is that the Java program does not compile directly to binary form. It compiles to an intermediate form which is called as a bytecode. Now this bytecode is a machine code for an imaginary CPU which does not exist. So we compile this program to a form which we call as a bytecode, which is a platform independent way of writing the code, and then this bytecode is run by the JVM, which is a Java virtual machine, as per the operating system. So the Java program, rather than being directly converted into binary and executed by the machine, is rather converted into an intermediate form, which is can be thought of as a instruction set for a imaginary CPU. No longer it is no longer existent, and then that bytecode is executed by the JVM as per the platform. So this is how Java started, Java developed, and now we have three wings we can call for Java: the Java Standard Edition, which is J2SE, the Java Enterprise Edition that deals with the server programming, and the Java Micro Edition, which deals with where it all started, the embedded systems or mobiles. So this is the history of Java as we know today.